Hi, this is Charmaine from Two Shabby Shoes. Today I'm going to show you a flip through of the first junk journal that I made. And although I had never heard of a junk journal until about a week before I started this, I want to show you that junk journals don't have to be just for journaling your everyday life. I made this for my mom and put a hour-long video together describing everything about a junk journal that I knew up to that point. And I described all of the little bits and pieces that I used along the way in hopes that she would use this junk journal. As far as I know, she's never journaled, so I wanted her to be able to use it for something else. And my thought was that she could put in her passwords and account numbers and things like that that we would need when she's not here. So it's definitely a different style of journaling. So this is the little pocket that I made, and I put the hour-long flip through on the thumb drive, and then there's room for her to add other information in there as well. For us to have when she can't provide it for us anymore. Stories and just pertinent document information. So I used laces and trims and just buttons, so many things from my own collection over the years, and I've had her collection of trims and buttons and things for years, and I use that in this junk journal. So each and every page has things that were hers that I used to play with from her boxes of notions, and I still had them for a reason, and I put them in this junk journal. And then I put things in from my own. This lace on the back and the front, I made a christening gown for one of my goddaughters, Isabella, and it's just gorgeous. And so I wanted to include all things beautiful. And I had, like I said, I had never heard of a junk journal, so I thought, well, I need some paper. And so I went to the Google, and two printable designers came up. One was Shabby Art Boutique, and the other was My Porch Prints. And those are two of the designers that I used throughout this particular journal. I made a tassel for the spine, and I used some vintage silk crochet threads that I had in my collection, and some broken jewelry that I had purchased from an auction when I was 18. And so just truly vintage beautiful items that made this incredible journal. And it's attached on the side, and I used beads and things that I've collected over the years in the journal to make it more beautiful. Now my closure is a vintage clip-on earring that I had, and one of the things that I didn't have to do was buy anything. I had all of this stuff. I just needed paper, and saw one video, and I went kind of berserk. I did buy, I have to take it back. I guess I did buy some things. I bought a crocodile, and I bought this fabulous seam binding that was scrunchy from Etsy. But there's two ways to close and open this. I used the seam binding so that it can expand with the items that she puts in, and then it can adjust that way. And then I made the earrings so that you could flip it open and have one string of the seam bindings with some little beads and things on to easily open and close and not have to fuss with tying the bow every time. So you just easily push down on the chunky, beautiful journal, and just flip the ribbon through and it opens. Mom's never had pierced earrings, so a vintage clip-on earring, which is something that she always wears. Not so much anymore, but she did always wear clip-ons. So my first page, um, just incredible. And I'd only seen one video. And when I decided to get going on this, my imagination just went crazy. My porch prints I've used in here, and little, I had tags, and I tea stained. I learned how to tea stain and learned how to use avocados for some vintage pink. I got a dictionary out, and I clipped out meaningful words and descriptions that she would be able to be inspired by. And I bought a photo album from the Dollar Tree, and I broke that apart and used the front as my cover and the back as the back. And this particular window slides up, and there's a hidden message behind there for her. This particular flip up is a piece of tissue paper that I put onto a regular piece of copy paper and ran it through my printer and put on one of Shabby Art Boutique's print background pages, and it just came out so beautiful, and it makes the most wonderful crinkling noise when you flip it up, and it's just so pretty. And these pom-poms that are on here were in my stash from my mom from when I was a little girl. And I've carried this stuff around for years, knowing one day I would have just the perfect project to use it in. And these are from my porch prints, and I've since learned and gone a little crazy on the digitals out there, because there are some fabulous designers out there. But, you know, I didn't know they were there. They just popped up, and it was like, oh, they're shabby, they're beautiful, they're roses, and I went with it. So lots of places to tuck and to write things for her, and she can put stories and, you know, recipes. There's all kinds of things that I'm hoping that she will put in for us to have as a keepsake, and, you know, really valuable information that we're going to need later. I tea stained parchment paper and used that and fabric that I had. Such an experience learning everything that there, and I didn't even learn it. I was just making it up as I went along, and realized that there are people out there that have done this for years, and I never knew. And, you know, some of these things are just so precious and sentimental, and they brought back so many memories as I was putting this together. Literally, it took me 3 weeks of nonstop putting this together and loving every minute of it, and the emotional ride just it was life altering for me, knowing that I had kept all of my little snippets and pins and buttons and trims for a reason, and this is actually it. This is Shabby Christmas. Mom is a shabby girl too, and I had to have some pink Shabby Christmas in here, and such a joy to look at. And honestly, I was pretty worn out when I finished this, because of all the emotions it brought back of being a little girl and playing in Mom's sewing boxes and my grandmother's as well. And I laughed and I cried thinking about all the things as I went along, and knowing that she was going to love this as much as I did and would be able to appreciate it, because it was so personal for both of us. And then, you know, my idea for the usage of it is, you know, it's definitely different concept to journaling, but I just felt compelled. And when I was finished with this journal, I knew that this style of crafting was going to be a part of my life forever. And I just am amazed at people have been, the ladies that have been putting these things together, and the joy that it brings to me and to other people. So this is just a little envelope with some lace that I had used on a doll dress that Mom had asked me to make for her, and Mom collects paper dolls, and this little tag has some paper dolls on it for Christmas. It's just so cute and so sweet. I hope that some of you that have never done any type of paper crafts or junk journaling, that you realize that was a beginner doing this. And as I said, I didn't even know that the YouTube channels existed, and I just was moved by the whole kits that I had seen and printed out, and they just sort of, I mean, it sounds sort of weird, but it kind of spoke to me, and I just let my imagination run wild, and it was nothing. Nothing was safe in my home. I was rummaging through every little baggie and every little box of things to add in here to make it pretty, and used more seam binding here and put some beads on the bottom. And yes, those beads came from the same place, boxes, and just have treasured them for years. And this was an envelope that I split in half, and you'll see the other half of it at the back side of the signature. And just wanted to give her lots of places to store things, and some secret places if she had memos that she wanted to put in there for certain people. And yeah, just making it very interactive, and just making it up as I went along, that's for sure. This is Mom loves to travel, and so she's been to a lot of places. She's lived in a lot of places. And I was hoping that this particular spread would inspire her to write down some of the experiences that she had along the way on her journeys for travel, and the places that she's lived, who she met while she was there, and what she did while she was there. She was young when she moved out of her home and got married, started a family. And so when she was older and the kids, my brother and I, were out of the house, she was able to go on cruises and travel with her friends. And so I thought this was a great place for her to write down the memories for us to remember as we read them. And she can mark on the map, put a little pearl or a rhinestone or something to mark it, so that we know she was there, and we would know what she did while she was there. I know she lived in Kansas City, Missouri for a little bit before she got married, I think. Yep, before she got married. And yeah, this is just, I love looking at this thing, and I wish I had it here. This is the hour-long video, as I said, that I condensed down to show you how really simple it is to just do it, and don't be afraid. This is actually a paper clip holding closed the center spread, and this is the center spread. When I was a little girl, it was when I was a little girl, I looked like a Cupid doll. So this center spread is just so sentimental to us. Mom started me a collection of Rose O'Neil Cupid dolls and figurines, and some framed photographs, and this particular little flip is from greeting cards that she had given me when I was probably, I don't know, 16 maybe, and it was just too cute to cover up, so I had to figure out how to not cover it up, so I made that little flip. and attached it with a Velcro dot. And this is the little journal tucked behind this photograph of Rose O'Neill, who's a creator of the Cupid doll. And there's a a nice little booklet for her to write some things in with some images. And lots of things I have, and so these two particular photographs you'll see of Rose O'Neill, I actually have a photograph, so I scanned them in, and she's holding the baby dolls there. It's just so precious. I believe these were taken in 1914, I think. And on the back of this tag, I will input a photograph of it, but it was a surprise for her that I brought in a picture of myself looking like a Cupid doll, and so I'm a part of it. But anyway, the Cupid dolls are just such a sentimental portion of my whole life. And so this is going to be a sewing spread. So many beautiful things in here, and I still haven't learned a lot about why things are used in the junk journals. Like, why are the measuring tapes used? There's train tickets and all kinds of things that I think they're phenomenal, but I don't know the exact reason. So eventually I'll look it up. But these are patterns that I have in my collection from when I was a little girl. I would go to school and leave my babies for my mom to take care of. And when I would come home, she would have made full wardrobes for them. And these are the patterns that she used for my very special one. And she gave me these made by labels for the clothes and things that I made over the years. I'm seamstress first, and so this is, brought me really close to her and the memories I have of, her pin cushions and the pattern pieces and her teaching me. My grandmother as well, and more trims from her sewing box that I just knew one day I would be able to use them, and this is perfect. This is my made by tag. It's one of Shabby Art Boutique's free printables, and I put the date and the year, and use the numbers from the measuring tapes to put her birthday on the top, and used trims and laces from her things. Did a belly band and an envelope for stuffing things and tuck spots, and baker's twine and embroidery floss. Just such an incredible experience. Another thing I did buy was some ink. I did see that in the first video that I saw that there was some ink to use, and so I bought that and to distress everything. Here's the other side of the envelope. And it's a big deal with the envelopes. I've made a couple of things now strictly out of envelopes because they're so perfect. And I've learned from Angela Kerr Designs. She has a tremendous amount of envelopes in the process of using them into your journals and pages and making flips and flaps. And it's just pretty incredible what and how creative that people are. And I feel like I'm behind on stuff because it's been going on for years, like 10 years, and I didn't know it. I've only known of this for a year now, and I just feel like I'm so far behind in trying to learn everything. And yeah, I've gone a little cuckoo buying all the favorite designers. This is an envelope that's a free printable from Shabby Art Boutique, and so many fun, beautiful things. So many fun, beautiful things, and I just could not be more thrilled with this whole process, and thank the creativity of people. And it's not just, I stayed away from scrapbooking because I knew I would go sort of overboard with it. I was waiting for just this, which is completely different than scrapbooking, but there's places for photos in these, and information that everyone is going to need in the end. And so those are train tickets, and I made a little lace pocket, and I put some descriptions for confectioner. Mom taught me how to decorate cakes and bake, and this is all sentimental to me as well. She gave me my love for doilies and all things beautiful, and of course I had to have some baking in there for us. All of this is from my porch prints, and I did combine the two because I was limited, right? So at that point I was limited, so I did combine the two designers, and I think they go together so well. And this is the back of the book, and this on the left is another free printable from Shabby Art Boutique, and it's a February, a mom's birthday's in February, and it's all about Valentines and cherubs, and it's just so beautiful. And then I put some extra ephemera in there if she needed it along the way. But one of the things that has happened to me in this journey of junk journaling is I have been asked to be a part of Shabby Art Boutique's design team. I could not be more thrilled. I am so excited to start this journey with Shabby Art Boutique. Carrie Ann English is an amazing designer, and she has asked me to be a part of her team. And who knew a year ago that I would be doing this with her? And I want to thank her for the opportunity. And I hope that all of you will look at this journal and junk journals in the future as something other than just to journal your daily life, because they can be used for so much more. And the beauty that they bring and the emotion is unmatched for me. It's really been mind blowing and life altering, this whole experience. I've met some amazing women, and I look forward to doing more. Doing so much more. There's so much more to learn, and I'm excited to learn. I'm very, very excited. And again, thank you so much for being a part of this. And I will put descriptions in the description box. I'll put links to my porch prints and Shabby Art Boutique so that you can go and see how much gorgeousness there is out there, and the things that can be created. Just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful art. And anybody can do it. This was my first time, ladies, the first time I did it. And I could not be more proud and thankful for the experience. Thank you so much for joining me in Two Shabby Shoes, and I look forward to the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.